Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're the kind of person who enjoys sending cards, thank you cards, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, or just because cards, then I have a project which could be right up your street. And it's this stationery box set. And even though it might look like just a box, it does have a difference, because when you take the lid off, it actually folds down to reveal this desk set. As you can see, it's got tons of room here for keeping your cards in good order, as well as your envelopes. Even these 5x7 cards will fit into this box set. You have tags, other little note cards. I've even decided to put a calendar in mine and some sticky notes, as well as a pen. Now, if you'd like to learn how to make this stationery box set, then stick with me and I'll show you how. I have, first of all, this piece that is cut at 4.5 inches by 10 inches, and this is going to be for the main divider, and score on 3 of the sides. So on the long side, scored at 1 inch and at 9 inches, or you could just turn it around and do it again on the 1 inch side as an alternative. And then on the short side, again at 1 inch. So you'll have score lines on these 3 sides, but not on this side. The next one is 4 and, no, I'm sorry, this one is 2.5 by 5, 2.5 by 7. For the small dividers, I've got a piece that is 2.5 by 7, and another that is 2.5 by 5. On the 7-inch one, I'm going to score on this long side at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and then I'm just going to turn it round and score it again at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. For the 2.5 by 5, I'm going to score it exactly the same, 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Turn it 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Then for the calendar piece that's going to hold the calendar, and I may have another piece which I'll decide on if I'm going to add a little later, but this piece is cut at 4 1/4 by 6.5. So 4 1/4 by 6.5, and on the long side, the 6.5 inch side, scored at 3 1/4 and at 3 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to have this very tiny spine. There we are. Okay, for the box, first of all, you fold along these score lines that we made and burnish them. So we've got this 2-inch piece here, and then we have these 2 inches on the end, that side and this side. Right, now where the 5 and the 7-inch lines are, making this 2-inch space here, I'm going to just cut up these 2 score lines up to that first girl line there and stop, and do the same on this side. And we're also going to take a small piece out of each of the sides, so just a tiny little angle cut or wedge. Okay, do the same on this side. So these flaps here, once I start decorating, are going to fold up into this back portion. Okay, next is the lid, and for that again, fold and burnish the score lines. This is just a regular sort of box lid, only it's rectangular in shape. And it's cut slightly bigger, about 1/8 of an inch bigger than the opening for the rest of the box. So we'll cut this up these score lines here and here, and we'll make tabs out of each of these. So just take a wedge out, a little angle cut there, turn it and do the same on the other side. And repeat on the other two sides. And again, I'm going to decorate this and then put the box together, which will go together like that. For the other pieces, we've got this one, which is going to be where we're going to have our little calendar. I'm just going to fold along those two score lines, forming that very small spine. Just have to manipulate it a little bit to get it into place. There we are. Done. And then our dividers. So we've got these three, again fold and burnish. Largest divider, I want to these in pieces as tabs. I think with this one as well. I'll come back and decorate that divider along with the others. So let's go back to our box, main box, and we'll put the pattern paper on both the outside and the inside. And the measurements for the pattern papers will be the same for the inside and the outside. I've chosen are from the Tonic Studios Simply Nature paper pad, and these will be for the inside, the outside, for the dividers and for the lid. So starting with the box, the main box, I'll go ahead and cover the inside, and for that I'm going to use this pattern paper. There will be one here and another piece will be here. We'll have one down the center here and then on the sides. So let's start with these. These measure 4 7/8 by 7 7/8. And I'm going to glue these here at the top and at the bottom. And I'm using the liquid glue here. And this is the Kalau. So that will also serve to strengthen this structure even more. So put that on there. We have these 4 pieces, which each measure 1 7/8 by 4 7/8, and they are going to go here and here. Okay. Go ahead and put this one down first. Before I put these down on these side pieces, I want to actually go ahead and glue these tabs into place. So I'm going to put my glue here on this tab and on the opposite one, and that is simply going to get folded up and attached to the side. Just hold that there for a moment. Go in with my bone folder. Give it a good press. And go to the other side as well. Now, be able to cover those joins there with these pieces. Is the inside finished, except for the addition of the dividers and so forth. And on the outside, which I probably should have really, in hindsight, have done these first, because then I could have laid this flat, but I think I can manage. So again, this is the same as the inside. 4 7/8 by 7 7/8. The side pieces are also going to be the same as the ones used inside, and those are 1 7/8 by 4 7/8. And they're going to go on these outer panels here. Now I'm going to move on to the lid, and then we'll come back to that. Lid, I've got these 3 pieces that are each cut at 1 7/8 by 8 inches, because remember this lid is 1/8 of an inch wider than our box. And for the end pieces, there are 2 which are cut at 2 inches by 1 3/4. So let's get these glued in place, and then we'll glue the tabs down. The lid will go together like any other. We've got these tabs which we've already angle cut, so those are going to go in here like so, and on the other side. So I'm going to put my glue down here. Make sure it goes up to the edges there. And then we'll use the bone folder, of course, to spread that glue out even more. And again, as with any lid or box, you want to be sure that this is at a right angle here. So, and to be sure that's, I can actually come in here with a clip. A binder clip would even be suitable for that. And go into the other sides. I'm going to just set that aside for a moment to dry, and then I can decorate the dividers. Bring those in next. This is the largest divider, which is essentially going to go in here, or I should say in here, in the back portion here. So for that, I have papers which match these ends here. So this piece, which will go along the front here, is 3 3/8 by 7 7/8. next piece measures 4 7/8 by 2 3/8. A divider measures again 2 3/8 by 2 7/8. And we have one more piece for now to cover, and that is where the calendar is going to go. That's the one that we made into like a little book. Okay, and this one measures, let me just double check that. Four 1/8 by 3 inches. The lid back in and remove the clips. And let's just check it for fit real quick. There we are. Very nice. As you'll notice, I've just decided to leave these sides plain, frankly, because I just did not have enough of this paper here to use, or the inside one, but I thought that would be a nice contrast. So again, we've got that lid. Now we can go ahead and put our dividers in. Start with this piece. This is going to have these tabs glued into the bottom of this piece here, so like so. Going to place glue along the sides and the bottom and glue it into the back of this piece. The other two dividers, which are going to be for the little note cards and tags, they will be attached by these tabs here. So you want to put glue on the 1/2-inch tabs, both of those, on that side and on this side. Now I want to attach these to the divider here and to the side of the box. Okay. Just go in here, press that down. If you're using a tacky glue, yours will probably set much quicker than this Halal glue, but like I said, I'm using it more for the strength than anything. So to leave that there, and on this piece we're going to do the same, and this time we'll also be attaching it to the side and then to the other divider. So we get our glue on there. Okay. Turn it up the right way, and we're going to place that in here. Again, attaching it to the divider behind the side. And just take our fingers and go in there and push these two together. Okay. I have this little mini calendar, which was in a pack that I got as a free item when I ordered some of the double-sided tape. And for this, I've also cut another piece of the 3 by 4 1/8 inch decorative paper. You don't have to do this, you can just leave it plain or do whatever you like inside. I'm going to put that there, and then the calendar is going to go onto the bottom piece. And before I put that down, I've got a little offcut here of this paper, which I thought I'll just use as a decorative piece inside of here. It's 1 1/4, I believe. Yep, 1 1/4 by, again, 4 1/8. And I think what I'm going to do is place it in the center there. And now I'm going to glue it to the bottom, and I'm going to leave some room so that I can actually attach a pen as well. There. Coming in about so. Let's see. There we are. Now this other piece is another offcut, and this one measures 2.5 inches wide, and I'm just going to fold this in half. It measures 7 inches in, or no, it's 6 7/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to I know what I'm going to do. For this, I'm going to put another little spine down the middle, because I can use this as like a little notepad. So I'm going to score it at 3 1/4 and 3 3/8. So again, just a small spine right down there, and fold it and burnish that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just trim this to fit if I need to. And I think I do. I'm going to need to take just a tiny bit off there. This end. I'll just even that up. Just taking my scissors and just cutting straight across. What I've done now is to cut down some little sticky notes, and what I'm going to do is I've got this other little piece here. It's just another leftover strip, and it measures about, I believe it's about 1 inch, yes, by 3 1/8, something like that. So I'm just going to loosely wrap it here so that I'll still be able to get my pad in there, and just make some tabs here. Doesn't have to be a precise measurement, whatever your piece happens to measure. And I'm going to place that about there, and I'll be able to slide my sticky notes in there. And for the outside, I have not enough of this cardstock left, or paper I should say left, so what I've decided to do is just to use a strip here as a decorative feature and let the green border show. This one is 1 7/8 by 3. So if you want to do the same, you can, or you could cover the entire thing, whatever measurement you end up having for your little piece here. So I'm just going to put that down the middle there. And a little more glue there. I'm going to get this glued down in place. It has that tiny little spine there, which will give it a little more room for the pad to close. And just put it about there. Okay. And then we have a pad that we can slide in, and then when that's finished we can just easily replace it. So we have that. And the only thing I need to do now is to add the pin. The pin holder, I've got this little strip here. And what I'm going to do is just take my pin and wrap it round. You could, if you wanted to, cut this and measure it and fold it, make it like a little box, but I'm just going to do like this. I know that's going to slide in and out without too much problem. Can actually grip onto here, and what I'll do then is take the glue and attach it to this little cylinder, give it a moment to dry, and go in there with the pin itself and I'm going to take some of this double-sided tape. Could use red liner tape or just simply glue, even maybe a dab of hot glue to put this into place. Tags, I've gone ahead and just made a couple of these very simple tags, and I just took a piece of scrap cardstock, measures 2.5 by 3 and 5/8. Just go around the corners of these and glue the paper to the front, and then I'll just take my crocodile and punch a hole in the top of this piece. Is just bring in a few cards that I already have that made. You can see these are 5 by 7 cards, which is a very standard size for me, and there's plenty of room also for envelopes in there. And I have this set of little note cards here. These are, I believe, 3 by 3, and the envelopes. So I've got a set of 6 here, and those can go into there like that, along with our little tags. Bring our pen back in. This sentiment here, this is my happy place, and I've mounted on some cardstock, and I'm going to go around the edges with a little bit of this distress ink. Then I also have a strip of leftover paper that matches here, and I thought I could put that across the middle there, but I could have my sentiment in the center of that. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I'll place it on top. This measures approximately 4 7/8, just a little under that, and I can put that piece there, add my glue, and that should also break up some of that color there and coordinate with the rest of the box. So there we go. I'm going to make a paper bow, faux type of bow. Just going to curl that a bit. What I'm going to do instead now is to switch these round. I'm going to put the bow on the top, because if I have it on the front, it just is going to interfere with the box actually lying flat, so I'm going to put this is my happy place on the front. And that should not be a problem then. So I was able to take that off without any damage to the paper. Let's see where, let's put it where we need it. Let's just place it down a little further. There we are. That's good. Press it into place from this side. And there we are. That is the stationery box set. If you enjoyed this video today, please leave me a thumbs up and comment below. Or if you didn't enjoy it, comment as well and tell me, what do you think I could have done differently? Remember that every interaction you have with my channel, watching my videos to the very end, leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down, leaving a comment, all help YouTube know that you are coming to my channel on a regular basis. And that means that there's more likelihood that my videos will be recommended to you in future. Thank you once again for coming today, and I hope you'll join me on another video tutorial very soon. In the meantime, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.